Now coming to the action on the protein metabolism. Now the corticosteroids are having anti-anabolic action. Anti-anabolic action means they inhibit the incorporation of the amino acids into the proteins. So the protein synthesis is not possible, and so it inhibits the protein synthesis. Then they have catabolic action. That means they cause breakdown of the various proteins in the body, that is proteins of the muscles, proteins of the lymphoid tissues, proteins of the bones, of the skin. So there is a catabolic effect, and so there is a muscle wasting, there is lympholysis, and there is a delayed in the wound healing, and there is a decrease in the bone matrix. And so these things will happen due to the long term use of the corticosteroids. So there is a increase in the release of the amino acids, that is breakdown of proteins occurs, and so there is a increased level of the amino acids in the blood, and these amino acids are get will get now converted into the glucose due to the neoglucogenesis. So in this way they have a anti-anabolic action, catabolic action, and they cause the breakdown of the proteins. Now coming to the action of the glucocorticoids on the lipid metabolism. Now on the lipid metabolism, the action is that they cause redistribution of the body fat. Redistribution of the body fat is seen from the various areas of the extremities, that is from the limbs to the face, leading to the moon face, and on the clavicles, that is the supraclavicular areas, and the neck, that will lead to the buffalo hump. So buffalo hump and moon face is a side effect seen with the long term use of glucocorticoids because of its action on the redistribution of the fat from the limbs and extremities to the face and the neck. Now coming to the action of the glucocorticoids or the corticosteroids on the water and the electrolyte metabolism. They have a salt retaining activity and water retention is seen. That is a mineralocorticoid activity is seen with some of the glucocorticoid, but this action is absent with the synthetic glucocorticoid, that is it is not seen with the dexamethasone and the betamethasone. So only the naturally occurring glucocorticoids have slightly salt and water retention activity, and that may lead to the edema and the hypertension. They cause potassium excretion and sodium retention. Now coming to the action on the bones, that is the calcium metabolism. Now action on the calcium metabolism, you can see is that they antagonize the action of the vitamin D. That is they decrease the calcium absorption from the gut, they increase the calcium excretion by the kidneys, and so they decrease the plasma calcium level. They also increase now coming to the action on the bones, they increase the action on the osteoclast. So they increase the activity of the osteoclastic activity, leading to the increase in the bone resorption. So this bone resorption continues, and there can be in long term use it can lead to the osteoporosis. And they also decrease the osteoblastic activity and increase the osteoclastic activity. So this can lead to the osteoporosis, and also because of their catabolic action on the proteins, they decrease the bone matrix, and these two effects together can lead to the osteoporosis due to the use of the glucocorticoids. Now coming to the action on the cardiovascular system. Now as we have seen on the water and electrolyte metabolism, that is they cause retention of salt and water. So they cause edema and weight gain, and there can be because of the salt and water retention, that can be hazardous in patients of congestive cardiac failure. Now coming to the action on the cardiovascular system is that they increase the sensitivity of the tissues to the mainly the blood vessels to the catecholamines. So the action of the catecholamines on the blood vessels is increased, and this is the permissive action of the glucocorticoids, that is they increase the sensitivity of the blood vessels to the catecholamines, and it has been implicated that glucocorticoids play an important role in the pathogenesis of the hypertension. So long standing hypertension is mainly because of the glucocorticoid, due to the increase in the sensitivity of the blood vessels to the vasoconstricting effect of the catecholamines. Then second action is that so glucocorticoids, if you see that they increase the action of the catecholamine, that is they play a important permissive role in the action of the catecholamine, that is they potentiate the pressure action of the catecholamines on the blood vessels. and this is the important action seen in the in the pathogenesis of the hypertension. They also this action is seen because of upregulation of the adrenergic receptors on the blood vessels and on the heart. They also increase, they also have a positive inotropic effect on the heart. Glucocorticoids have a positive inotropic effect on the heart. This is because of the upregulation of the adrenergic receptors on the heart and the blood vessels. Now coming to the action on the skeletal muscles. Now optimum level of glucocorticoids are required for the functioning of the skeletal muscles. So in Addison's disease as well as in Cushing syndrome, you can see muscle weakness and fatigue. So muscular weakness is seen in both Addison's disease as well as in Cushing syndrome. Now in Cushing's disease, you can see the muscle weakness. This is because of hypokalemia and because of the protein breakdown, that is the muscle wasting, due to which is the action on the protein metabolism, as we have just now seen, that is it causes the catabolic action or breakdown of the muscle proteins. So because of this catabolic action and because of the hypokalemia also, there is a weakness in case of the Cushing's weakness of skeletal muscles in Cushing disease. Now in Addison's disease also you can see that there is a weakness of the skeletal muscle, and this is because of the inability of the circulatory system to respond to the stress during exercise. So in Addison's disease, that is when there is deficiency of the glucocorticoid, the circulatory system does not respond to the action of the catecholamines, and so the blood flow to the skeletal muscles is reduced due to absence of the glucocorticoids, and hence this is there is a muscle weakness and there can be fatigue because of the reduced blood supply to the skeletal muscles.